Dude,
Yeah, very
so
similar.
sad. I was so bullish on ETH, right? Yesterday I
Mm.
was looking, I was like, you know what, we might actually reject off this level, but I just wanted to fucking send. It literally rejected off the daily POC to like the dollar and just down. Mm,
Yeah, we're in
mm, mm, mm.
we're in that little chop solidation area. 3682 is a significant level. Rejecting from this is gonna look not as nice. Something I talked about yesterday in my corner. Coming back to touch this would most likely be a sign of weakness. Now we're using it as a resistance area, so we want to be popping back above this 3682 area. Very, very important. Because we're between S1 and S2, I don't really have a trade just here in this exact moment. We could try 3556, but then, yeah, that works. That works. 3556 back into 3630, 3682. That's a trade we could take. And then, of course, just like BDC, if you manage to do something like this, that's probably a long. But before all that, nothing to touch. So you either take an S3 or the pivot reclaim. Everything else, not really worth your time. Too inconsistent. So that's pretty straightforward. Don't need anything crazy to decipher there. And that yesterday was, or the day before, super annoying. Mm. And what do we have here? Oh, look, it's my best friends, S1 and S2. Okay, so it's pretty much the same story around my top three. Three that I like to trade the most. Pretty much giving me S1, S2, chop suey. Not much we can do here. Either go for S3. Comes down a bit more. You got to pop above. You hold it. You long it. You get some sort of stab like that, followed by a reclaim. That's a long. Back into S1, S2. All right. Pretty straightforward. Now, will it actually do anything today? That's not up to me to decide. It's a new month, right? So a monthly open on a Friday. We got dominance in Ripperoni mode. That's something to keep in mind. So it's reclaiming back above the 200 EMA, and everybody's hopes and dreams are crushed once again. Or it fails to take out, 62.58, I want to say, 62.58. And rolls over and dies and makes new lows. I'm not sure that's what's going to happen. Still think we're in phase one, so I think we get something very, very similar to this back in November and January. I think we're going to get something very similar like this, so keep that in mind.
I think we're gonna get I think we're gonna get the same thing from last year personally, for August, September. I think the bottom's gonna be put in August, September here. So I'm actually gonna start building these spot positions for myself in Wealth Group. See if we can start getting some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder where I'd buy a spot for this. I mean, I'm not touching
Historically,
Ethereum
right?
anymore.
Historically, you usually I mean, me and you've been in the same boat for the last 2 years. I mean, we caught the fucking super bottom on BTC last August, September. So hopefully we can repeat it again, right?
Yeah, we'll do it again. I don't know.
We
I'm
will
not too
do
worried
it
about that.
again, brother.
I mean, we all got to be aggressive, right? So I would imagine I still think this level is going to work out for us. I'm not too concerned. If we get it, that's great. If we don't, we'll find a bounce somewhere over here. At least that's what I'm thinking. For the daily, well, the daily could be a lot lower, but I don't think we get it. Yeah, I'll say it's somewhere towards 112, 110 that we're probably gonna have to buy. ETH, I've bought more than enough spot in areas I'm not too proud of, and as well, it took a long time to get here, so probably gonna cool it with that. Sol, I'm still riding from 130, so I'm really disappointed. Uh, so I don't know. I think my only spot allocation is probably be on BDC again. I just market continues to disappoint me with my long-term expectations. So and I'm already reluctant on a lot of them. So I mean, I've had this level set out for weeks now. So if we get it, that's great. If we don't, go. It's still price discovery. We spent how much? How many days? How many days have we spent in this actual area? This area in specific, we spent around a day in. We only have like a day of data, one candle to be trading exactly where we're trading right now, literally one day. So it's pretty straightforward. You buy new highs, or you buy the expansion, or the moment of impact of the expansion, which is this demand block right here. Pretty straightforward. A lot of people are going to be looking at this level.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get it, that's great. If you don't, have a plan. You know, if you need to submit to the narrative, you submit to the narrative. If you get a drop,
What
well,
is
we
it?
can't be scared.
What level is that? What's the first level there of the
Um,
price of the
for this
block, or your
block,
order block? Yeah.
yeah, it's between 112, 150 ish, all the way down to about like high 110s, so like 110, 500. I
Okay.
think
Yeah.
we're good with
Should,
that.
yeah, you're cooking there. You got you have a cluster of POCs at
Yep.
111, and then another big cluster of POCs that would support that block if lost and people freak out. It could literally just bounce right at 109, 150, and just clear it and just spend from there. Yep. 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 Because it's a close, right? You would need a daily close underneath that for it to be invalidated, right? Is that the way you guys played the OBs?
Um, Not really. Just want to see a really aggressive response here because this suggests unfilled orders, which is the reason for expanding. Whatever supply was here could not maintain the overwhelming buying demand, and that's the reason for the expansion. So a tap back into it needs to be aggressive and it needs to be like rather quick. So like you would need to see something, especially with the 200 EMA over like this. You would need to see something like this, and like that's all she
Yeah,
wrote. It would need to look like this. Yeah,
that
like
matches. Yeah, it matches what I'm
back above
thinking.
them because this is like an inefficiency, right? That needs to be filled, and like it can't just struggle there, and then you know it can't struggle there because the assumption here is that demand is so aggressive it blows out the sellers, right? So that's like my whole outlook on it. And they tend to work very well, especially in price discovery markets, right? So this is a price discovery breakout, you know,
Mm-hmm.
around the 123. We popped to 123,000 till a random magic ancient 80,000 Bitcoin dragon decided to come out and say he's out. Fair enough. I mean, who could blame him? Um, and that's a reason, right, for having overwhelming supply here.
Yeah, it looks like
So
he just was
we shouldn't be seeing that
offloading.
again at 112 where we originally broke out from, right? Because there was no supply of that magnitude.
Thanks. Spot trade. Let's see if this is a little bit aggressive spot trade, but not too shabby. Oh, arb. Tried to short arb. I got front ran. We might be going to that 113, 420. Smoke them if you got them today. Let's see if we can catch this. We are forming a potential 5 and
Ooh.
no 15. It's gonna be quick. quick trade.
S3H4. You talking about this level here, Yannick? I don't really trade my pivots on higher time frames, but I see the vision. Yeah, don't know what all this is. Just a rough open so far. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so I think we're gonna get this. At this point, I think we'll get this. Momentum swinging. Now, it's just I fucking feel like we're just gonna do something like this, back up, and I'm not gonna get this. I could just have a weird feeling. If I know anything about this, that's usually what happens. The S3 on the 4 hour is dope. I guess I have to backtest it more. I never actually I used to trade 4 hour time frames, but I don't do it anymore. For a long time, my earlier days of trading, the 4 hour time frame was like an edge in its own self. These days, I feel like a lot of people use it, so I find it more competitive. Sync the M15 with it. Interesting. I'm gonna have to backtest that. Do I set limits at S3 or do I wait to see when it gets there? I usually wait to see when it gets there. Because if not, I put myself in a position to catch a falling knife. The way S3s usually operate um, is you'll get a push, you'll get a little bit of a deeper push, usually not too much further than that. Price kind of stalls, attempts to push again under the price it lost, then creates a pop. That pop leads to the execution, and then we get our mean reversion. So it looks a lot like this whenever you're looking at the first time we touch S3, we usually get that stop hunt, right? That's what this is right here. Move up into the level. We don't long here just yet. It's going to fail to break down. It's going to show you, a sign that it's breaking down. It's going to hold these lows that it originally found. Then it's going to make a nice spike up. It's going to try to get you a FOMO in here. And usually we get a retest on the level of interest. Hold there for about another candle, 2 candles, and then we begin our mean reversion. It's usually a quick trade. It doesn't last longer than a couple hours. Rare. And then, of course, if I do have overwhelming signs that the order books are stacked at our level of interest, for example, on the M15, then I might buy into it, or I won't wait as long. But it's rare. I don't start the fib anywhere. It's an indicator, pivot point standard. You can find it here, right? So it's a pivot point standard, and this is what I set it up to. So it follows a Fibonacci, but not entirely. It follows pretty much the open and close of the day. You don't have to set up anything yourself. It's pretty much just done. Step out for a second, but I'll take a look at XRP when I'm back. Just give me like 2 minutes. Ow.
Yes, sir. All right, here we go, guys. Looks like New York's selling off a little bit. We still have a little bit left of the CME gap as well. I know I was talking to John this morning. I was like, we got a little bit more on the CME. Maybe one more leg down. Tap 113, 420, 113, and then reverse from there. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? 112, 112. There it is, 113. All right, yeah, we got a liquidity there too, guys.
Why is BDC breaking down? If DXY is breaking down, I mean, legacies are having a pretty shitty open this morning, down 1.6%, and the day has just begun. So, typically we have a lot of weakness whenever legacy markets show weakness. I mean, these are huge indexes, right? So and the dollar's made a decent amount of gains over the past few days, but now it's rejecting the bottom of a yearly range, right? So, but yeah, this is mostly legacy market affected by legacy markets. They're down pretty bad to start the morning. I'll be honest with you, like pretty bad actually.
It's no news or anything, right? It was just job. It was like Jolt or whatever jobs today.
Yeah, just unemployment, but Coinbase is
Yeah,
down 15%. And the day just started. I don't know what happened there. I have to take a look at that. I don't know why it's down 16%. Amazon down 6.5%. It's again the day just started, so I wonder what the hell's going on here.
yeah, dump then pump. There we
A sad
go.
world. We're having tech stocks have more movement than us. I mean, the VIX is up 25% just now. I don't know what's going on, but it wasn't that serious, right? What's the cause for the huh, range? Ah, they had an earnings miss. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, XY is down because of data. What data? We met our expectations this morning, didn't we? Don't think we're getting rate cuts in September. Then why is the dollar going down?
Telling you, August, September is gonna be bottom again. I gotta make that post on Twitter and pin it.
Feels like monthly open fuckery to me, man. That's all it is. Old monthly open fuckery. Tariffs changing every day are not helping. They are not. They are not. Tariff deadline is today. There you go. That's the real number. That's the real thing I wanted
Oh
to hear.
shoot!
Everybody's nuking, assuming Trump's gonna escalate. Probably gonna be like, just got off the phone with president of Mozambique or whatever.
I thought they were
Then
delaying
we
it
had a great
again.
call and
Interesting.
we decided to delay it again. Yeah, that's probably what's gonna
Yeah,
happen today. Yeah.
we're in works of a fantastic deal.
Yeah, Canada's not doing weird stuff, Canada. So yeah, Chile with 10%. I'm not sure what Switzerland did, but I know Canada is
All right, let's cancel these arb
Canada's
shorts.
been pulling a tantrum, so yeah, naturally the 39. Okay, yeah, so it's definitely tariff related. Today's the post deadline. Today's for sure. That's exactly what it is. Okay, it makes more sense. Earnings
What?
missed by Coinbase is pretty bad though.
There we go.
Job growth being lower than expected might also be affecting things for sure. I relate job growth. Um, Job growth can be affected by deportations. I'm pretty sure that could play a role. I'm not gonna say it plays the whole role, but yeah. That's kind of like an aftermath effect, I guess. Yeah, so give me 112. I'm good. I'm good with 112, 110.
Oh damn! You want lower? You want my 113s to get blasted?
Yeah, I mean, like that's the level I want. Yeah. At this point,
Fair enough.
I mean,
Friday.
113
I
would
wonder
be
if they're gonna do 113 for the weekend, right? Friday long weekend pump, dump it,
yeah,
and then get to
that's
the 111, 112.
yeah,
Let me
that's an
get this
intraday
scalp.
play though.
Yeah, let me get this
113,
intraday
yeah,
scalp.
113 is a scalp, but like if we're talking like swings, like 112 is nice. 112 to 110 is nice. 113 back to where we were just trading, close it out, get a bit lower. That's my ideal scenario. So, all right, I'm back. Let's see what I'm missing here. Fuck. I walk away for 5 minutes. Fuck. All right.
We're not bouncing off anything. Hmm.
Yeah, no, we're just in S1, S2 mumbo jumbo zone. So,
So what about who's aping these buys right here when it's not there's no level to play.
just
I
resting
guess the
orders.
I guess just that 15-minute single print probably.
We got a lot of resting orders here, so positive deltas. So more buyers than sellers currently in the area. Has been like that since about 115, so that's good news. Yeah, so we're gonna keep our eye out on S3. We're definitely closer to it than we are further away from it. Same with Ethereum. We're not gonna long into it right away. We're just gonna take a look. I want to see a buyer's response there. Clean up this mess so I don't have a bunch of shit on my screen. And that's a pretty, loss of 36.82. Happened originally last night. Retest into the level now using it as a resistance. So that's significant for me. Something I spoke about yesterday. I loved our response from here. But the failure to make a new high and then kind of roll over. Many a little bit more reluctant on 36.82. It's the only reason why I didn't trade it yesterday. And now, flipping it underneath. So bull div on BDC 30-minute anyone. I don't really trade divergences, but maybe Pocky
Wow,
does.
that's a lot of volume actually. We have some decent volume last 24 hours on BTC and BTC is actually getting back above
Yeah,
ETH on
everything's
trade
healing.
volume.
We call that healing in the phase 1 process, One of those hate to break it to you moments, but welcome back to phase 1, boys. It is what it is, 62% dominance. That's a good question, actually. I mean, it's in its expectations. It's 0.1% higher. That can't be the justification for the market doing what it's doing today. Like, this can't be it. This can't be it. I'm sorry. This cannot be it. Aligning with market expectations, the number of unemployed increased by 220.
Yeah, you could play the 30.
It's its lowest level since November 2022. So no, not since COVID.
Yeah, you can play the 30.
The weakest since December of 2021. So that's interesting. So that's more around COVID era.
I'll
Okay.
play the 30 with you on a scalp today. The validation is
What is that fib you placed earlier that shows open close? What's it called? Are you talking about my pivot levels? This? Yeah, it's an indicator. So you go over here. You write pivot points standard. Doc Dave just posted in the chat, and you set your levels like this, and you'll have exactly what I have. TradingView or Blowfin. I use Bybit, right? So aside from Bitcoin, Bitcoin's the only one I use Coinbase on because I'd rather look at spot demand. But every other chart is perps for Bybit. So they might vary slightly, based on the different indexes or the different pairing you're trading. Yeah, that's the one. PJB, no way you take a picture of your screen. Not in 2025. You use Windows Shift and S. Windows button, Shift and S. And then you can kind of crop out a picture. You could do that and then you copy and paste it. And voila.
Voila. Money.
What mic do I have? I have a Shure. So Shure. I can't remember the model. But Shure makes some quality microphones.
Yeah, I like it. I got it too.
Yeah, they're good. They're affordable. Get a lot of compliments on this mic, by the way. A lot of them. Okay, so I was supposed to take a look at XRP for someone. It's just market's kind of moving right now, so I don't want to be too distracted on levels I have. XRP is kind of in the same boat, guys. We're in the same situation pretty much across the board. S1, S2, just being a stubborn little fucker. I don't trade S1, S2. As you guys could see, it's very inconsistent. Doesn't provide us with anything. XRP, I would typically tell you to take the S3, but we already had a move off that level. So a revisit to it, as you guys could see, like an S3 mean version looks to target S1 and S2, which is already has. So a revisit of this shows even more weakness. And even though it could bounce back, it's not something I typically trade. My data doesn't support retaking the S3. It's usually a quick, impulsive move up, and that's usually like an exit trade, right? So you're just exploiting stop hunts, and you're getting out right away. So to be revisiting it is not really something I take again. It's usually upon first touch, first entry, and even at that, this is kind of aggressive. I don't even know if I would have gotten a trigger for this, because usually I wait for like some sort of deviation beneath. I wait for like a retest, and then it goes. So for this to just be 2 candles in and then move straight up is not something I usually take. So for XRP, I would stay away, at least on the M15. The intraday seems played out unless it gets back above 306, which doesn't seem likely today. You'd have to look at larger time frames, because you are getting a pretty decent pullback, and I fucking knew it, man. I fucking knew when I started seeing all the you'll see what happens. Like I should have known. It's every time the XRP people start talking crazy. But we might get a decent area to snipe here. Let me actually take a look, because we're getting some nice pullbacks now. I want to look for some demand zones. I'm less intrigued by my intraday over the past few days. Now that we're getting deeper pullbacks, I want to look for like a demand level. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Boy. All right, gangster.
I wonder if I should bring back the whiff spot trades.
Big spot sells. Getting into the level that we want. So, is there any difference
Don't
trading on
bounce
Bybit or
here.
Bluefin?
Keep on going.
Mostly
Don't you
volume.
do it to me.
A lot of compliments on the mic, but not that much for Pokemon cards. Yo, it is what it is. Actually, I get a lot of compliments for my Pokemon cards.
Yeah,
I have some crazy ones. Yeah.
it's some good shit. The
Now
hell?
let me bust out the live camera and start showing you guys what I got.
Even
You
though
don't
he
wanna.
just bailed out on me on not wanting to go half
I'm not
in
buying
on
no
something.
Mario, Luigi Pokemon cards, bro. I'm
It's
I
it's
don't want to
field
see.
set.
I actually hate Pikachu, bro. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I can't
What? You
stand him.
don't like the fucking ponchos that
Can't
Woods
stand him.
has?
Can't stand him. Can't stand him.
Oh my
Like,
god, I love
they're
those
boring.
ponchos.
Like, they're beautiful, but they're boring. Like, I don't like Pikachu's. Like, I don't know. There are people that are like obsessed with them. I'm not a fan.
You'll go in with me, eat with $5.
How about the Magic Final Fantasy card? Yo, I tried to pre-order that shit and was so out of whack. It was like $700 a box, and even at that, they were being sold out. I was in
Try
a
to get
moment where I wanted to buy them.
the Marvel ones if you find any of them.
Man, I
Those
don't
are
like
like the hardest to
superheroes.
get right now. Is
I
the
know the Magic
Marvels.
Final Fantasy cards pop off. Like I wanted those, and I'm not a Magic guy, but I saw those being sold, and I wanted them, but I couldn't get my hands on one.
It's hard to get the collect. Don't buy anything that doesn't say collectors when it comes to the Magic shit.
Yeah, it was the collector's one. It was like the $700 box at retail. It's the one I really wanted, not
Oh,
just the yeah. But they were sold out
yeah.
instantly. Like, yo, Final Fantasy people are fucking psychos. Like they're
I'm
psychos.
about
Like,
to I'm about to bless all of Wealth Group TCG collectors. I'm working on getting a distro license.
oh,
No, I'm sorry. I'm working on getting a an account with the distro, not me be a fucking distro. I'm working on it. No, it's all right. It's all right. We will get filled on our spot trades.
hold
It's
on, hold on.
patience, patience,
What's on
patience, patience.
what's on the right side of the screen? This is just a live tape. So left column are my spot sales over 100K. The middle column is any perp trades over 100K, and the right is liquidations. Purple being bears, gold being bulls, right? So hopefully that makes sense. You have to like configure it yourself to get exactly what you want, but this is what I look for. Anything over 100K is noteworthy for me, and liquidations of any price is important for me. So that's what this is on the side. Can I check Solana? I will. Yeah, okay. So you guys can see we're starting to get like responses from the S3, but this is not enough for me. Like this is usually trappy. Another thing to keep an eye out for whenever you're looking to play an S3 is this volume oscillator needs to be completely flushed. Like you need to see something more towards this. Ideally, whenever it's highlighted as well, you want to show that it's extremely exhausted. You don't want to have more room to go when you're at this level. So what you'd probably see right now, especially on Solana's S3 level, it's probably gonna do something like this. And it's probably gonna do something like this. And then it'll be completely flushed. And then once you get the pop, that's usually what triggers it. If that makes sense. If you need me to clarify more, then do that. But right now you don't chase this because it's very it's just as likely to fail reaching S2 and go back down. So you just gotta, hold your horses here for just a little bit longer. But yeah, Soul's at a level of interest. It's definitely getting there. We just get a little bit more like that, pop above. Use this as a stop loss. Use this as an entry. Use this as take profit, 50%, 50%. And if you want to be more aggressive, you do 33%, 33%, 33%, full exit. Stop break even after take profit one is hit. Very 2 plus 2 is 4 minus 1. That's 3 quick maths. That'll be our execution. And for BTC, we continue to trade between S1 and S2. No trade zone for me. So just put a big fat X on this. Nobody wants to trade this fucking nonsense, which is sadly what we've been getting all week. We've been getting these S1, S2 levels. I've avoided them like the plague. ETH, don't break my heart. Please don't do this.
Yeah, this is funny. I mean, spot trades
Evening.
front ran, leverage trades front ran. Dude, the spot trade was literally just front ran by. You wouldn't even. This is just spot. There's no way that that's happening. There's no fucking way, man.
So it's another
No.
response from the S3. Crazy stuff. If it just fucking moves up from here, I'll be really upset. Because that's been the story of my life this week. Slightly front runs S3, sends it back into my zone, then just does fuck all for the next 48 hours. I'll be really upset if that's the case today. I'll be like actually tilted because it's been a whole week. I've been waiting for my levels to play out, and it just does this. Oh, JK front run.
Literally
Oh,
front ran by it's my Pepe 0.03 micro cents 0.000004. Can't make it up. People just
TJB
be love
writes.
fucking aping these levels. Jesus, look at that bounce.
My problem is identifying when to enter a trade. I use the POCs, RSI, trend lines, EMA crosses, B bands, volume. What more can I do to certify that my setups are correct? In my opinion, you're using way too many indicators. You're using way too many indicators.
Holy
You're
shit.
overcomplicating it, and you're giving too many signals. Too many signals.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is to stick to one. And all the tools needed for a specific system or strategy, and trial and error with that alone. The second you start entering 10 different trades because of 10 different indicators, you're all over the place and you don't actually know what's working and what's not. Because if you use any indicator you want, you're always going to find a reason to take a trade. What's more important is to, you know, stick to one system and understand what's working, what's not working on that one system. Because the second you start using 10, 15 different ones, you're going to be all over the place. And that's just not, yeah, Pocky's an excellent teacher, right? So if you're looking to stick to one strategy and get the ins and outs of one specific system and strategy, you're in good hands in that sense. But stay away from less is more. Okay, that's the golden rule: is less is more. You want to become familiar with a specific system, not everyone's system, because the second everyone has different reasons for taking trades, everybody's going to see something differently. The second you merge all of that into one data pool, you have nothing consistent coming out of that. You don't know right from wrong. You're just taking for the sake of taking. So, be a bit patient. Some days there's no trade. Some days there are plenty. You know, and it's a journey. So just be a bit more patient in that sense. Not everything needs a position. Like,
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
yeah, I mean, mine and Pocky's are pretty similar. That there's different executions, different things that we see, but more or less, a lot of the times when we're on the same side of the same trade, we're looking very, very small discrepancies. That the levels are very, very similar. So yeah, they'll complement each other pretty well. You definitely ape into some, which I'm trying to reduce and be patient. That's with experience. You're just gonna get better at knowing when to pull the trigger and when not to. Oh, I'm gonna get angry. I'm gonna get very angry here, boys. I'm gonna get very, very angry. No, man. Yeah, tabarnak. Yeah, esti. Yanni, you can definitely trade S2 as you can definitely trade these two levels. I just with my system backtesting this, it's been proven to be inconsistent. Meaning, yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But edges
Oh,
they evolve and they adapt, right? So there could be moments in the market where this has become actually more lucrative than previous times. But after I want to say a good 4 years now, I've struggled more to find a trade between these two levels than simply just waiting for this or this. And
he's referring to pairing RSI with your S levels. I
yeah,
love
but
it. When anyone talks about like another strategy, but they're using RSI, it just like it really it marinates with me
no,
because it's a powerful tool.
on RSI and a volume oscillator, they're more or less
The
same
same, pretty much the
thing.
same. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the same thing. I trigger different ideas using a volume oscillator, right? So people will feel very comfortable using bull divs and bear divs or hidden divergences, whatever it is that they, And it's I encourage you guys to experiment. I encourage you guys to backtest new things. Again, like
Hmm.
edge is always evolving. There's always something that's
Yeah.
going to work better in this quarter than it will. Sometimes it works. It changes on a week to week basis, right? And just it's familiarity. Whatever you can find in your data that shows familiarity, that's what you want to stick to. You know, every trader has their own reasons for taking ideas and has their own risk tolerance and what they're willing to risk and what they're not willing to risk. It's good though. I love to hear that shit. That shit. I'll be honest with you. System always doesn't have to be black and white. It could be adapted, it could be evolved, but it needs proper back testing, right? And for example, the reason why I probably wouldn't take an S1, S2 trade or anything based on this is because maybe in the past, that's hurt me very, very badly. And it's just better to avoid altogether, right? That's okay. So getting to S2 here on a number of pairings. And when I say a number of pairings, I really just mean ETH. So that's funny. Yeah, we're just going to wait out here. I don't like the initial response because now that means when we come back here, this could be a lot weaker. But then again, you get this to flush, you hold this level, you make a little slight deviation underneath, and I think you got a trade here back at least into 3682. So this is easy for us because the S1 level and 3682 are very, very closely aligned. So it all makes sense to, if it's bearish and wants to continue going down, well, then it'll reject from here. So if you want a nice response, you get it from here, back up to here. Very, very easy trade to take. Not hard at all. Easy rules to follow. It makes it more difficult though if price immediately reverts back up to here. Then we don't have this anymore, and then we have to focus on this. So that's how I navigate. It's very, very straightforward, very, very simple. I don't overdo it. It's either it comes to me or it doesn't. We see just between S1 and S2. Not much I could do about that here. Mind if I do another quick overview on BDC? What would you like to know? Intraday or daily? Like longer term or? Ooh. Ooh. ZNA is interesting to me. Flush this a bit, flush on this level, and you probably got something here. Okay. Short term for next long levels, like how you usually do. You should know what I'm looking for today. If we stall out enough, something like this, 200 EMA comes down here, somehow crosses underneath the pivot. So any sort of reclaim onto this towards the end of the day would probably be a sign for continued long, right? And if that can't be given, I would just sort of break down into this level. Well, then S3 is what I'm looking for a mean reversion back into these two levels. If we zoom out a bit, meaning we're not looking at the intraday anymore, we'll be, or I'll be, sorry. I'll be targeting into this 112, 110 area. So that's this demand block right here. That'll probably be like a swing play for me sort of thing. But this is the 4-hour 200 EMA that hasn't been touched all the way back till 105K. So I do expect a response from here. I do expect a response from here. So if we manage to get like some nasty liquidation wick, which is not too likely anymore in today's world, especially with BDC, it's just way too competitive. This would be a gold mine, I think, for an intraday, not intraday, but short-term swing. But we more than likely say fuck you to these, and we're probably going to bounce from here. I'll be honest with you. This is a fairly big level to be trading at. First time since early July, which was the original cause of the breakout. So that's what I'm looking at. On intraday, straightforward, pivot 200 EMA reclaim, or S3 mean reversion back into here, pivot 200 EMA reclaim back into these three levels. Very simple. Avoid this shit. It's not worth your time. BNB touch S3. There's so many. Tips for intraday trading. Have a system, stick to it, don't force anything, and never overplay. Never over risks, just not worth it. Never over risk on small ideas. Always have a stop loss. It's better to be wrong early, right? You'd rather be wrong early, especially on an intraday play. Just move on to the next one. Don't overstay your welcome. If something's not working when you know it should, just move the fuck on. Yeah, sometimes it'll rip right after you close. That's life. But realistically, you don't want to be caught. You don't want to be caught holding something, and because of that, you're stuck and you can't take plays that are otherwise obvious. Like if something's not working, it's better to be a close out of it early, or at least for it to hit an invalidation, instead of just stubbornly holding on to an idea, because there's gonna be hundreds of ideas every day. And okay. Ooh, that makes me really, really upset. Nah, man. Hmm. 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 Yeah, Pocky muted, by the way. Oh, okay. He knows. Okay. BNB touch S3. BNB touch S3. Oh. You see, like, that's a bit too quick for me. That's a bit too quick. I don't even know if I would have taken this. That's a bit too quick. But yeah, that's S3 levels reigning supreme. That's what you look for, by the way. You're looking for a fast, impulsive move, typically in the form of a mean reversion, meaning it engulfs the sell-off in like an hour or less type of thing. There's a reason why we target that level, and as you guys could see across the board, it tends to have a really sharp response, which is usually what we target, right? As you guys can see, there's a reason why I avoid this, because it's usually just up, down, I don't know where the fuck I'm going. And it's just not reliable to trade. Whereas once you get into S3, you kind of know you're being given a really strong move away from the level. And it's easier to manage, right? When you're in a trade and price moves away, at least, if you have a stop loss, you feel uncertain about it, you kind of move a break even. If it's your first take profit, you can kind of move a break even. Last thing you want is to be in a trade and it just does this. That's the worst. So yeah, if it's quick, how do we get in? I mean, that's the difficult part. More often than not, this is one of these rare exceptional days, right, where you get an immediate response, which is not usually what we see. We usually see a stab in. People get a little bit excited. They buy into it right away. It drops even lower, probably takes out some very, very tight stops, kind of convinces people it's going to go down a bit lower. It comes back to retest the level. Looks like it's about to break down again, just holds, pops back above, goes something like that, and then it takes off. That's usually how it goes, more often than not. So I want to say like 8 times out of 10, when you're trading at an S3 level for the first time, it's going to do that. The off expectation, something like this, will immediately have no bullshit and most likely won't even hit the level and will immediately start taking off to show you how aggressive the level is, right? It's less likely it'll do something like this. More likely it'll do what I just showed you. So sometimes it's just a game. It's just a game. Like I've been getting frustrated all week. I've had these S3 levels either get slightly missed, or not hit at all. So it happens. It happens sometimes. A market's extremely aggressive. Sometimes it's not. Oh, lost Pocky. But it's just about knowing what levels you wanna operate at. And this is why there's a reason why I want to operate at S3. There's a reason why I like to operate at the pivot 200 EMA. Is because it's where the market will have the most response. You don't want to be stuck in S1, S2 that doesn't do anything. All you're doing is paying fees to CZ. And nobody wants to pay fees to an exchange while you just chop around, do nothing. So that's why we avoid S1, S2 because it doesn't really tell us much. We call that the no trade zone. Very 1-2 buckle my shoe type of trading. We don't want to be involved in that. Will I post a BDC setup on my corner if I'm given the time to today? Because the market's been moving. And yeah, it's done automatically. So every chart I go on, it'll identify the pivots, the highs and lows of the day, and look to trade off that. Pocky, where you at? Pocky leaving me solo today. What the hell? Yeah, it works like a Fibonacci. It's very, very similar to it.
There we go. I'm back.
Oh my god. Hi, Pocky. Welcome to tuning in. You're listening to 96.5 FM.
Oh shit! I'm disconnected to the car. 1 second.
Sorry, AM radio. AM radio. Yeah, I do have a workshop for this sort of method, right? Again, it'll resonate with some people because you need to be very, very patient, and it will resonate with people that are not so patient. I'm sorry, it won't resonate with people that are not so patient. You see, they'll see a day like this and then be like, this system's not for me. Look, I missed a trade. If you're doing your system right, if your strategy works right, you're gonna have a ton of these where you're gonna miss, where you should have taken it, or you should have. Yeah, hindsight's 2020. After the fact, it's very 2020. But up until this point, you wouldn't have possibly known, right? So it's context matters. In hindsight, everything looks like, oh, I should have taken this, I should have taken that. It is what it is. When you have a good strategy, you just kind of you're stoic about it all. You missed a trade, oh well. Your trade's wrong, oh well. Your trade works out, oh well. As long as it's consistent. So you see, in this case, pretty strong response off S1, S2. Not something we usually trade. So if there is a recovery in progress here, we will see that at the pivot and the 200 EMA, which will cross over and provide us with a setup that will look to curl eventually upwards or hook eventually upwards. And that'll give us the base, right? If reclaimed, can provide us with a mean/bias of the day that's worth taking once again to the upside. So there's no need to rush. There's no need to bet on the idea of this coming back up. We could just see it clearly if we were to get back there, right? So that's what we're looking for if this were to continue going back up. Yeah, we'll take a look at XRP. Where the fuck is it? I was looking right at it. Okay. Yeah, so same thing. Because you already had a bounce off the S3 level, right? To both take profits, hypothetically, right? Obviously, it's not something I took. Now you look for a continuation long. Continuation long would once again be at the pivot 200 EMA. So again, you spike up, you pop up above it, you look to hold this level, you flush out whatever seller momentum is there, you exhaust it, and then that creates a base for the longers, right? Creates a base for the longers. The 200 EMA is going to look to curl up, and that's where you're going to strike for continuation play. And that's usually how you go about it. Okay? Just a crash course for anybody that's asking these sort of questions. That's how it looks. BNB, BNB. Hmm. I just put up my settings. It's pivot point standard. Pretty nice responses. But again, these are mean reversions, right? So you guys will
Yeah,
see
that
this.
was aggressive. That was
Yeah,
really
these are
aggressive.
aggressive mean reversions. So again, you don't want to start FOMOing in. You don't want to start going crazy here now that the move has happened, because I know this is what happens to a lot of people, right? They see this and they go, "Oh my God, the bottom's in." There's a number of things that you need to look out for now. Again, a mean reversion play is only meant to target S1, S2, right? So we're expected to see weakness towards this. It's rare, that price comes back above the 200 EMA and pivot and reclaims it. That's our next position if we were to be given it. But until then, usually off an S3, you're expecting S2, S1, weakness at this level, maybe even rolls over, looks to retest, kind of create like a sideways base now, right? And if it wants to go lower, it'll do that. If it wants to finally eventually pop higher, it'll do that. But realistically, you're looking between S1, S2, to get out, right? So, and if price were to continue ripping up from here without there, then you look towards this level to make a new plan. That should be accessible PJB. It's a workshop I did for the whole group. I don't know why it says unknown though. You should be able to have access to it. I don't have any. You should just be able to read into it and watch it. I go way more into detail about it. So.
All right, I'm away from my screen for a couple of minutes. Pocky, if you got any.
Yes, sir. I think you're cutting in and out.
Me?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I have to switch microphones.
Ah,
About
there.
that time of
Oh,
day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, well, at least today was more exciting. Last week was holy moly boring. Like,
Yeah. But I mean, still, I'm not, I was waiting for a little bit lower. I didn't get it. So it's still like, eh.
me too. Me too. All my S3s pretty much left me in the dust. It is what it is. That's been this trading week. This week has been like this all week. Like, either none of my levels hitting or my levels just being slightly missed by a hair. It is what it is.
Only remarkable trade would be the soul short. That's pretty much about it for me. Yeah, not a fantastic move.
Yeah, it's been a frustrating trade week. Like very, very frustrating. Bitcoin's about to be green on the day. That's hilarious. I mean, hopefully that's our monthly low, right? Hopefully that's our monthly low. I'm
Oh, shit, that would suck.
it'd be nice to be our monthly low so early in the month, because then it's smooth sailing for the rest of the month. But yeah, we are in unfamiliar waters for 62% of the market cap. So 62% of the market cap is trading in a place that has spent less than a month trading in its entire existence. So understand that 2/3 of this entire market is currently trading in unknown waters. So if you feel like you're a bit lost and confused, it's normal. That's what price discovery is. That's what it feels like. You know, for the past
Buy the
year or
dip.
2 years. Yeah, until proven otherwise. Until you're proven otherwise, you know, the past two times we broke into price discovery, it required months of ranging before making its next move, right? So just keep that in mind when you're in uncharted waters. Nobody actually knows what happens next. Bitcoin green on the day now. That's hilarious. Okay. Ooh, I'm really salty. I'm very, very salty right now, but it is what it is. Ooh. You know, sometimes I consider like, is there anything I can adopt or adapt to my strategy that looks to get in on these moves when I know it's impulsive? The answer is no, because with enough backtesting and enough trial and error, I've realized that there's no actual way to tell, if that makes sense. So it's hurt me more often than not trying to catch these odd moves off the S3 that are quick, instant, almost reactionary, right? There's no actual data that supports a real way to exploit that. So anybody that wants to ask that, there's no actual way without it being a gamble, of course. Look at the dollar. Let's check what the dollar's doing. Yeah, I mean, the dollar's where it was before, right? Kind of fell off, rejected a really, really big range low that we originally broke out of over the past, broke down from out of the past 6 months. S3, S2, S1 are just fib levels, pretty much. Those are fib levels. So drop Fibonacci tool. It'll be like those last 3 levels. The thing is, it does it automatically for the time frame it's trying to fit. Thanks, Dave, for sharing, by the way. I'm keeping an eye on the legacy markets here, because if they want to make a low here, I assume we respond as well. What up, Dan? All right, back to the screens.
How many liquidations in the past hour? I'm curious. Or the past 24 hours, actually. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
720 mil.
yeah.
Almost 100 in this past hour alone. That's pathetic, really. It's actually pathetic.
I gotta run
180
into the
mil.
pharmacy real quick. How much longer are you gonna be streaming? Another like 30 minutes, 20 minutes?
20-ish.
All right, I'll be right back. I just gotta run inside this pharmacy real quick.
Cool. So a lot of licks. Okay. Over almost $1 billion in liquidations into monthly close and monthly open. So that's good. That's good news. Yeah, and they're automatic, right? So you can operate them on any time frame you want. I personally find the best success on the M15, but I've seen people use them on the daily. I've seen them use them on the 4 hour. So I have better strategies I like to incorporate on larger time frames, or a better strategy, I should say, which is order blocks. This market's very, very supply demand heavy. It's less about earnings. It's less about fundamentals. It's more about like raw demand versus raw supply. So it's very, very important you understand that. That's the type of market you're trading in. Kike, what are you referring to? That's this, no? Just with flashbang through the door mode on instead. There seems to be a running joke that I don't know about. What tools do you use mainly on your day-to-day trading? What do you use for order flow, funding, liquidations, etc.? Could you please send us a list? So I use Okatoki for resting orders, right? This is a number of exchanges. Spot heavy on the left, perp heavy on the right. And I usually only have one open for ETH and BTC. This is more on the order flow side of things. My right column over here, this is a live tape. v3.aggr.trade, that's the website. You can customize your own JSON file to point out whatever you're looking for. Like for example, me, spot columns from a number of spot trades from a number of exchanges on the left side, anything over 100K. Middle column is anything over 100K for a number of derivatives exchanges and pairings, right? And the right side is liquidations. So those are two go-to tools that I do use. They must use this for me for the way I operate. What else did you ask? Funding and liquidations, that's easy. I use coinalyze.net just to get a raw understanding of funding, predicted funding. You click on a certain pairing, you get your open interest, whether it's nuked, whether it's topped, whether it's rising. But mostly I just look at the quick funding rate, the average on all exchanges that are noteworthy. So that's current average, predicted average. And for liquidations, CoinGlass. You have the total amount of liquidations, and you have your heat map. Your 24-hour, 48-hour, 12-hour, 3-day, 1 week, 2 month. You get the drift, or the gist, I should say. And yeah, that's that. Hopefully it helps. Yeah, Okotoki. So OKOTOKI. And there's a paid version. I mean, the free one gives you some indexes or some pairings, but like the ones that really matter, like Binance USDT, like heavy spot markets, probably going to be closed off to you. But it's the cost of business. Got to pay for some tools. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I'm not sponsored by them. It's very useful to me to see this. And of course, you can make it fancier, and you can be way more on the spectrum about it. Like I think this just confuses me, so I don't. This is just too much going on, and I'm not okay with this. Mr. Beginning, can you please talk about your view on the mark? Do you want to see 250K? Are you still thinking that? What's your time horizon? Have we bottomed? Bottom I'm not too concerned about, but yeah, 250K by the end of the year, I stand by that. Unless something were to drastically change, I think 250K by the end of the year is still very, very possible. But I didn't really talk about it, right? I didn't really talk about my macro views. It's more of like a scalping stream, I guess. But yeah, 250K. Do you think we're seeing a bear period for the next couple of months then? I have no reason to suggest that. Absorbed 80,000 Bitcoin sells like it was nothing, barely moved an inch. Promises to purchase and raising funds for 2.5 billion or more. Cheeky, casual $1 billion buyers appearing out of nowhere in this area. It's nah. I don't see a bearish period. I see phase one though, if that's what you ask me. Like do I think alts outperform? The answer is no, not yet. It's not time. You think we break 114K within the next week? I'm less the type to answer questions about time frame specifics, right? Like I have a target in mind because we are in a bullish trend and we continue to be in a bullish trend until proven otherwise. And typically trends, they tend to get faster and faster. So I assume this to get faster and faster, right? till we reach a blow off top. I haven't seen a blow off top yet. I haven't seen true mania and FOMO. I keep seeing skepticism. I keep seeing doubt, uncertainty. Every time I make a new high, it's oh my god, but does nobody find it suspicious that this whale is unloading at 80,000? It's like, this is not what a top looks like. Tops don't feel like this. So it's a sentiment read. Whereas I still believe we're in phase one, because every time ETH pumps for 7 days, it's met with alt season, and we're gonna flip BTC, and it's time, ETH to 12K, and the staking and this and that. It's like that's still in an era of disbelief. Whereas Bitcoin, every time it makes a new high, it's oh my god, is nobody concerned? Is how much longer can Saylor keep this up? It's always skepticism. If you compare the two narratives of alt season and Bitcoin going to 250K, 250K is unthinkable, whereas alt season is pretty much guaranteed, is what the common notion is. I don't know if you guys see it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm crazy, but that's what I see. Every new high is made with skepticism. Every lower high on ETH and everything is talking about 10 to 12K to 15K minimum. And that's just where we're at, when really we have yet to make a new high. Do I believe alt season will come this year? I believe an alt season comes because that's how markets work, right? If there's money on the floor, people will take it. The problem is you haven't seen the expansion that we've always seen. We've seen less than 100% of a growth from its previous all-time highs back in 2021. I've seen Bitcoin usually 3x, at the very minimum 3.5x from its all-time highs of its previous cycle. We're not even 1x above. So until I see an alt season, it's because the reason why an alt season happens is because so much money has been multiplied in this industry, which again, 62% of it is owned by one pairing, right? One pairing owns 2/3 of this entire market cap, or just slightly under 2/3. At one point, it was 2/3 of this entire market cap. If that were to double from this point on, the amount of newly discovered capital that exists in our market will undoubtedly trickle into other pairings. I just don't think we're there yet. So do I believe alt season comes by the end of this year? I don't know. I don't think so. But do I believe it comes? The answer is yes. But it can't come when everybody's talking about alt season every 5 seconds. It won't. It won't. If I know anything about these markets, which I've dedicated almost a decade to, it just doesn't work like that. It doesn't. You know, I'm open to things, but the more competitive it gets, the more diluted it becomes. You know, the less convinced I am that I'm wrong. You know, and that's okay. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't think I am. Do you know how John is able to get in almost at the bottom? He checks orders coming in or similar. I know there are some tools that make it sound big if order appears, but I'm always amazed how he snipes entries. John's a breakout trader. He takes advantage of when a move is imminent, he does bet on it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but nonetheless he'll be there for it if it does. And he'll be out very early if it doesn't. That's his method of trading. Keeps it very, very simple. You know, he's got levels, he operates on them. The difference between John and another trader is a lot of the times he won't spook himself out of an entry. He'll just, I'm taking this. You know? And that's why, you know, it always seems like he's getting the pico wick of something, is because that's where most people bail on their idea. They go, oh fuck, I'm not so sure about this idea anymore. Whereas like John just goes, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try this here, put in my stop here. If it works out, that's great. If it doesn't, that's great. And it's just that state of flow that he has where he's just able to catch those ideas. He lets his runners run, and when something's not doing exactly what he needs it to do, he's out. And you know, I respect them greatly for that because it's very hard to do. When you open X, every influencer is day posting all season, like coming to the very next day. And it's really misinformation that creates newbies again to try. I mean, it's engagement, right? It's engagement. Telling people that, something that's worth 120,000 can do 2x from here. Well, that's not exciting now, is it? Right? Think of people, right? Think of how they operate. You excite people by telling them that their coin that's down 90% can do 30x this year. It's just emotions, right? So naturally, it's in everybody's best interest to post about an alt season, not only for their own bags, which are down tremendously on, but because it's exactly what people want to hear. It's the same reason as why when you bear post on Bitcoin, it's what people want to hear, because again, at this point, they deem it to be too expensive to make any real money off of, and if it were to fail, that makes them feel better about themselves. It's the same psychology. It's why Capo gets 6K likes on every tweet, is because, Black Swan, we're gonna get 20,000 BTC, and it's like, oh yeah, that means I have another chance. You get what I'm trying to say? Whereas like the people that are down 90% on bags that they own, hearing that it's gonna 30x is exactly what they want to hear as well. So it's like a reverse. It's why skepticism does so well on Bitcoin, because it's at a price that's too fathomably high. It's too high for people to fathom. Whereas alts are so incredibly down that the next best thing to hear is that they can only go up. Do you get the psychology of this? It's just typical human behavior. It's just that's why on Twitter you see all this mumbo jumbo. I've been seeing Black Swan event calls for I don't know, since 30K. It's just been smack wrong, and I've been seeing this is the bottom, this is the bottom underneath, this is the bottom on this is the bottom on that, all the way down to 90%. Because it's what people want to hear. At the end of the day, influencers influence. That's what their job is. You'll know a trader from an influencer just based on how they talk about the market. So
Ooh, if BTC can actually reject here, we might be able to get our deeper fills. Let's see if it flips, then we probably not going to get it. If it flips
we've exhausted
115,
sellers.
698, most likely we're not going to get it. Our deeper fills.
We've exhausted sellers. We're probably gonna pop into the 200 EMA pivot, probably reject, go back sideways like this, low volume into the weekend. I don't think we're gonna get anything crazy, but I'm open to this big green zone over here. I love my green zone. So, what'd you get over there at the pharmacy, Puck? Oh, and he goes on mute. This fucking guy.
It's connected to the phone to the AirPods, just back and forth.
Lost a lot of money by listening to these influencers, but I can't tell you how grateful I am to be part of this group, learning the real market conditions. Yeah, it's we're traders first, we're Moon Boys second.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, yeah, we want all our bags to go 30, 40, 50x. We're speculators at the end of the day. We're optimistic on a space for a reason. We're not pessimistic, and we're not expecting the market to go to zero because it's a scam. We don't believe in that. But at the end of the day, we're not going to deny, trading for what it is, and that's a market that bounces and ping pongs between two prices all the time.
I mean, markets. I mean, it doesn't just go up. It doesn't just go down. It doesn't just go sideways. You have structures, and you play the structure.
That's it. And so we do our best to navigate. Sometimes we will be wrong. It's only normal. But a lot of the times, if we do miss a move, it's more of a better safe than sorry angle. And if we're wrong, it's because we had every reason to take that trade and every reason to assume it could have done well there. And it's never malinformed, and it's never coming from a bad place. It's because we see risk and we have to take it. Sometimes the risk to reward is just too good. It has to be taken. And that's
But those are words from a trader. Yeah, those are words from a trader. All these X guys that you guys are, I don't know if you're buying into what they're saying. A lot of it shills. You know what I mean? A lot of if they're not talking about buying at pullbacks, they are literally shilling to pump the coin that they're already in. That is the difference.
Yeah, the early investors, they could have gotten a discount on the IPO price or the ICO price, and you wouldn't know that, even though they should disclose that because it's highly illegal if they don't. But it's just to say you will never know, right? And again, they could throw a bunch of word salads at you to why this is the next best thing and blah 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 blah, and I'm doing this because of X, Y, and Z. But it's speculation at the end of the day, and as much as I dislike the X influencers, I also do recommend that nobody is naive and gullible enough to just listen to someone else's words, to do your own due diligence and research, which is what this group teaches. Also, at the end of the day, right, is you make your own conclusions on shit. Don't listen to people. You can learn from them and you could reference them, but you don't take their word as gospel, right? They're just people, right? Me and Pocky, we're just people. At the end of the day, we're in a position where we want to see you guys eventually doing your own thing. That's kind of why you're here. It's not so you could just have your hand held. It's so you can learn, ask questions, apply, and execute. That's really what this group's about. That's what it was founded on. It's not 1 2 buckle my shoe, 3 4 shut the door, follow me. It's ask questions, apply, learn, see where we went wrong, see where we went right, and then eventually come to your own conclusions. That's really what this group's about.
Yeah, ask the why. In my opinion, it's always like why.
Yep. Everybody has their own reasons for being here. Some people just want to make an extra few $100 at the end of the week, and you can get there.
Millions.
And some people they talk to me about wanting to drive Lambos and private jets. I mean, everything is within, your
Me
realm.
too. Me too. How? Tell me. Entry, stop loss, TP, win Lambo.
Yeah, it's everybody has their own reasons for being here. Most of the time, they just want to release the chains just a bit. It's a bit too tight, the chain sometimes, and just want to let it go a bit. Just know it's a journey. It takes time. Think of it as a tuition. I don't fucking accept someone into medical school and they're doing heart surgeries the next day. They have to go through the whole process. Already, it's hard enough to get into fucking medical school, right? You don't just because you're accepted into medical school, you're a fucking heart surgeon. That's world renowned. It takes time to get there. So, Dog, are you looking to short BDC if you see weakness at the 200 EMA? I don't short BDC. I don't. I have
Nope.
all things to sell. It's the one thing I will not sell. Fundamentally, it makes no sense. They've got Big G in here, right at the end of the stream, no less.
What up, G? I haven't seen those boys in so long. They're like practically strangers now.
What's that watch you got on there? What Jubilee is that?
It is the Rolex Datejust with the black face
41?
and the
Yeah,
flawless diamonds. Has the
nice,
flawless.
classic.
Yeah, the everyday.
When some of the
No
traders call for
reason.
a BDC long, does it mean we could take strong alts with small position at the same time? Because if BDC moves, these will move as well. Am I wrong here? No, if they're calling a BDC long, it's because they're calling BDC.
You need more than that though.
Yeah.
Personally, I think you need more than that. It's good though. It helps with directional bias, but you've obviously seen, BTC can fill a 2%, 1% area, and the alt might tank 5-10%. And then the move on the alt though is, 15-20%, and the move on BTC is 1 to 2. So just if it helps me with directional bias, but am I aping in longs while I'm getting into a fill on BTC? No. If the setup is there on the alt, same time as BTC, then yeah, I'm executing 2, 3 trades at the same time. But most of the time, your AOI, your area of interest, is going to be wider on your alts, and that's a big understanding. I see way too many tight entries. Members had the right idea, the right trade, the right directional bias, but it was just too tight. And then the trade literally went the way that they wanted it to go or predicted it to go. What's up, HBJ?
HBJ, you got a stream?
No, it's not a Ferrari. It's a Lambo.
BJB. No way. No way. You're close. You're close. Yeah, you know,
I mean,
Pocky's
it's right
Pocky's
there.
in a part of the world where driving Lambos is actually possible. You know, you come to where I live and you're hitting a pothole, $6,000 maintenance in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trust me,
Yeah.
dude. In Florida, driving in Florida is a fucking breeze compared to where I live. You don't want to know. You don't want to know. Cypress, you're in here. You know what I'm talking about, right? Don't be shy, Cypress. No, New York is not worse. You guys do not know what you're talking about. American roads, compared to many other parts of the world, are so much better. I promise you. I promise you. I've been to New York hundreds of times. I'm slightly more north than you. Wow, no way Cypress hits record and then goes and does something else. No way he does that.
Oh yeah.
No
HBJ, what
way
about that bear
Cypress.
moon, bro? What the fuck? We should have shorted. We should have shorted the bear moon, HBJ.
Canada. So, man, we got PJB in here. We got HBJ. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind with these letters over here. Try saying PJB and HBJ back to back. Like that's just gonna fuck you up.
Oh my gosh, these guys.
PJB 1776. Was that the day America gained independence? Is that it? Or the year? It has to be 1776, right? Damn right. That's a patriot right there. I'm more American than most Americans. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I wish I was an American. I'm not even kidding.
Let's make it happen.
I wish, man. Maybe a gold Trump visa, man. Maybe. We'll see. All right.
Good stream. Have a wonderful weekend, my brother.
Yeah,
Everybody, have a good weekend. Let's
we
start
are
the
at the
month off
end.
strong. Bottoms are coming. August, September, same thing as 2024. It's a repeat.
Yep. Yep. Probably last month of summer is gonna be a bit slow, but you know we expect things to kick off. We did get a really nice July though, so we can't really hate too much. Good stream. I think we had a good stream today. At least we got some movement. I mean, didn't really do much, but trading back where we started. So at least we got to see some S3 levels play out in real time, even though you know they didn't work out the way we wanted them to. But at the very least, we got to see it react in real time. So that's good stuff for us. Pocky, always a pleasure. Chad, always a pleasure.
You too,
Thanks
brother.
for. Thanks for showing up every week, taking an effort upon yourselves to get better at this stuff. And without anything else to say, we'll see you guys same time, same place next week.
Toodaloo.
Take care, guys.